Hello gamers, sit yourself down and enjoy some more World of Tanks with SevRoks.
Afternoon everybody, SevRoks back with some more World of Tanks for today, taking a look at a very special tank for the North American server. This is the KV-220. It is kind of a sister tank to the KV-1, but it is a tier 5 premium tank that was only available in the Cyber Monday bundle. I believe the starter one that I got was KV-220 and 10,000 gold. And I picked it up, and it's kind of a rare tank on the North American server. It was only available for that one day, yesterday, Monday, Cyber Monday bundles. And I was the only time it had been introduced on the North American servers. It's on the Russian servers and some other servers, I believe, but first time on the North American servers, and I managed to grab one. The thing about the KV-220 is, being a premium tank, it's not going to have the best armament around, especially for a tier 5, as we can look at some of the other tier 5 tanks that are at premiums. They have terrible guns. Churchill 3, little tiny 6-pounder gun, terrible. At least not very effective. Doesn't have very much pen, but it can still be effective. What else we got? We have the German T-25. What kind of gun does this thing have on it? That's not a bad gun, but it's not something as excellent as you're going to get if you get a regular tank and you work for it. Matilda Black Prince, not a very good gun. Excelsior, not a very good gun. Ram 2, not a very good gun. T-14, okay gun. And that wraps up the tier 5 premiums. And there are, of course, a couple other tier 5 premiums that aren't immediately available in the tech tree store, such as the Chinook Kai and a few other rare tanks, such as the Sherman E4 variant at tier 5. What makes the KV-220 special and unique from a lot of other tanks is its armor for tier 5. If we look at the stats here, it's got 100 hull armor in the front. So all right here, this upper plate especially, 100 armor right here. Lower plate, it's going to drop a bit. Something like a Stug or any sort of tier 5 tank destroyer is going to have no problem penning this right here. So lower plate's definitely a weak spot. On the side, which is really unique, 100 hit points as well. I mean, not 100 hit points, but 100 armor on the sides of the hull. So you're just as durable from the sides as you are the front. And almost even more durable from the sides, because you don't have to worry about the lower plate being exposed. And also 80 on the rear of the tank as well. So a lot of lower tier 4s and 3s are going to have a hard time penning this. The turret's really not too much special. It's got 90 in the front, 90 armor. That's still enough to bounce a lot of shots, especially because your gun mantlet takes up the majority of the turret here. But these little cheeks right here, these little sides right here, are pretty weak. I've had quite a few things go through here, including KV-220s. It's got 75 turret armor on the sides and 75 in the back. And the reason that's important is 75 is the hull armor for the KV-1, and 75 is the side of the turret for the KV-220. That's pretty beastly armor compared to that of the KV-1. Now, while the KV-1 does have better turret armor, it still has a big advantage in the whole department, having 100 on the front and the sides compared to that of the KV-1. The thing about the KV-220 though is while you do have a lot of armor, don't have a very good gun. Standard shell penetration is 174 to 124, 14 rate of fire, and average damage is 83 to 180. Yeah, 83 to 188, or 138, sorry. You're not doing that much damage. It is a 76 gun. If we take a look at the research here, it is 76mm ZIS-5, 99 pen to the front, 110 damage to the front, 14 rate of fire, 0.46 accuracy, 2.3 aiming time, and that's pretty much it for the gun. It's pretty bad, and you will find yourself using premium if you come into another one of your brethren. I do have 14 rounds of premium loaded up on this thing at most times, and that's only in case I run into another KV-220. You can tear it to pieces if you have that little bit of extra pen with the premium rounds. Because this is a premium tank, it can afford to use premium rounds. This thing is a really good moneymaker. It's not as good as a moneymaker as, say, something like the Super Pershing at tier 8, where on a good loss you can get 100,000 credits. This is more in the lower tier. You're going to get 50,000 credits per game instead of 100,000. But nonetheless, it's still a really good tier 5 tank, and it's very much so a brawler. I've decked it out with some camo here. I haven't added any equipment to it as of yet, which I kind of need to do. It does need a gun rammer and a gun laying drive, because the aiming time is that bad. But like I said, the gun is not the strong point of this thing. It's definitely the armor. So let's go ahead and hop into a battle with this thing. We're gonna do a live battle, so we can kind of see the situation, how this thing works. Now, the thing about this tank is also, it does get premium matchmaking. You're not going to be facing any tier 7s, which is phenomenal for a tier 5, because in your tier 5, you're always like, oh crap, tier 7s. You can pen a lot of them, but they always do have that gun advantage. And because this thing has such a terrible gun, it is going to get premium matchmaking. Tier 5s and 6s at max, which is great. So I did not catch the name of the map, which I never do, but I've got this thing decked out with some camos, and we're going to get some really good matchmaking. Like I said, premium matchmaking. There is an enemy KV-220 on the enemy team, so we're going to be able to maybe, possibly, use our premium rounds on that just to see the bounciness of that tank firsthand. There's a lot of tier 4s, bear in mind there's only a couple tier 3s on each team. So it is pretty much a standard battle here. So I'm going to go, to be honest, I'm going to go river, and I'm going to work this side. I'm going to work the 9 line on the river there and see what I can do and use my armor to my advantage. Really, there's not all too much on their team that can pen my armor head on. The Churchill, well, the SU-85 is really the only big threat. While the Matilda does have some nice pen and it has a beastly rate of fire, it's still going to struggle. So really, this thing has a very large advantage in this matchmaking. Let's see if we can put our armor to use. As you can already tell, this thing is really not that slow. It's actually quite maneuverable. It's very similar to that of the stock KV-1, but faster and better maneuverability, which is interesting for a premium tank. It's supposed to have a lot of armor and be really slow. I haven't had really too much issues with the maneuverability of this thing. Maneuver is very similar to that of the KV-1, so I haven't really noticed too much of a difference as I'm playing the KV-1 right now, trying to get the KV-2 for derps. Literally for derps. That derp gun is the best around. Well, I don't know, it's in pretty tough competition with the SU's 152's 152. Thus the name. There's a lot of tanks in the middle. I don't know if there's going to be too many on this side. Hopefully there is, so we can kind of flank around them. Or take them straight on and then flank around the guys in the middle. We may have to go back and help the middle if there's no one on this side. We got actually a really nice spread here on this map so far. We have a lot of snipers up front. They do have some tank destroyers in the back, as I saw an SU-85B took out our Matilda. So we do have to worry about some TDs sniping away. There are some TDs over there, but that's kind of out of our range, to be honest, with the kind of gun we have. I do have my crew ranked up a bit, so I have a 4.30 reload, which is better than it normally would be when you start off, especially with the 50% crew. You have a really slow reload for this low damage of a gun. Get a shot in the T-82. Is he still there? No, he's not. He got unlit and backed off. Churchill 3 is in the middle, but our team is having no problem taking him out. So I'm going to continue my assault here on this side, and hopefully try not to get picked to pieces by TDs. It's about time that I kind of make a rush here and see how useful our armor is. I'm completely out in the open. Gonna be very vulnerable to TDs. Speaking of which, T-82. This thing I find myself doing a lot is firing on the move. He's gonna pop an HE round for 90 damage. Not gonna really worry about that too much. Now it's time to put this armor to use, as we're gonna light up as much stuff as we possibly freaking can. SU-85. The one thing I thought was a threat is bouncing right off of me like it's nobody's business. Actually, that's SU-85B. There's the SU-85 in the distance. Not looking our way. We're going to put a shot in the side of him for 99. The reload on this thing is better now that I have my crew ranked up, but it's still not as good as I would like it to be for such a low damage gun. If it was like a 3-second reload or like a 2-second reload, like a 6-pounder, it would be phenomenal. But that's not the case with this tank. Now, the KV-220, if you notice, is on the K line, along with some of their mediums. So I'm hoping I might be able to pull off a little bit of an invader medal here. Oh, no, looks like that's not going to be the case. I do have some people backing me up, unfortunately. I was hoping I was going to be able to use my armor and sneak in an invader medal, but nah, not quite. We got 2 kills here in a matter of moments. And we're going to turn the corner, and there's a Panzer 1C, actually. Hello. Kill him. Where was that Su-85B? He was lurking around there somewhere. I know he was. Let's see if he comes out to play. We're going to go ahead and get ready to sit on cap. There's the Su-85B. He's on the other side of the mountain. Let's see if he backs over. Actually, no, that was their Su-85 that took out one of our tanks. Su-85B took out our other Su-85B. Let's see if he decides to come around. I am getting shot at by a Matilda. And he is penning me. Bear in mind. So I told you that Matilda has a pretty beefy gun. We are going to be able to pen him with our 75 or 98 pen, actually. We're going to pen him with no problem, actually. Su-85 is going to put an HE round in me. Someone's going to finish him off. Su-85B is going to get killed as well. I'm doing a decent amount of damage, not getting many kills, because things with faster reloads are beating me to it. Now it's a sit and wait game. They got a TD down there. I'm not sure what TD that is. I'm pretty sure that's the Su-85. And there's the M8A1. He does have, if he's maxed out, I know he has a good gun, so he can pen me. It's a matter of, let's see what gun he has. No, it looks like he has the howitzer. That's going to do a very minimal amount of damage here. Reload. And there's the kill on the M8A1. Their KV-220 is all that's left. See, everyone's going for my lower plate. Everyone knows that's the weak spot, but even then, there's a couple bounces on that weak plate, or that lower plate. It is a weak plate, so you could call it that if I wanted to as well. We're going to get the win here, hands down, as their KV-220 is the only thing that's left, and we are capping very rapidly. And that right there is going to be a brilliant display of this thing's armor. While I wasn't necessarily in a complete tier 5 match, I wasn't having that many threats as far as penning me go. I only took about 200 or 100 damage even, and came out on top with 1,000 damage done. See, so the gun is not that bad when you're going up against little baby tanks, but even up against some of the higher tanks, the gun is not that terrible. I was actually thinking about switching to premium there on the Matilda, but then I realized I can actually pen it. So, look at that money. For repair and for auto resupply, only $1,000 each, so $43,000 on that win. So this thing definitely is going to make you some money, as it is a tier 5 premium. Now let's look at the Traverse here. We've got 22 Traverse, which really isn't that bad compared to the KV-1's 24 Traverse. So if you've played the KV-1 a lot, especially an upgraded KV-1, it's going to maneuver very similar. Top speed limit on the KV-1 is 34 kilometers an hour. That's actually the turret traverse speed, so turret traverse speed is a little bit faster on the KV-1 than the KV-220. Traverse speed of 20 is exactly the same. So if you've played the KV-1 and you like the KV-1, you're going to be very pleased with the KV-220. It's got a less gun, but it's got a higher amount of damage you can take because of its armor. Now, the thing about me telling you all these things is it unfortunate that if you didn't get the tank on the Cyber Monday bundle, you can't get it anymore. It may be available in the future, but we will see. See, a 34 speed limit and a 32 speed limit, or 33 speed limit, excuse me. 650 engine power, 500 engine power. So they maneuver very, very similarly, which is awesome because you're having a much beefier package with a less effective gun, but you can take a lot more of a beating than you can in the KV-1. Let's go into another match here. This is going to show our other end of premium matchmaking as we're going to get into a tier 6 game. Let's put this gun to use. Hopefully not have to use any premium rounds. I don't think I should have to. Premium round, I'm not even going to bother with the Churchill 7 if I run into it. I can't pen it either way, even with premium, unless I go right for the rear. And being as this thing is not the speediest, it's not going to really be too much of an option. They do have a lot of things that can pen me on their side. They have the SU-100Ys, SU-85s, Stug. Pretty much anything up from the Churchill 1 can pen me. So, let's see. We will see how effective this thing is against higher tiers. Like I said, premium matchmaking, you never have to worry about tier 7s with their 200 pen guns. Which is great, because you don't have to worry about getting chewed up that bad. But something like the flak bus, or the toaster, as my friends call it, or the Panzer SFL-5, the German tier 5 tank destroyer, with the Tiger gun at a tier 5, 198 pen, gonna go right through you like butter. No problem. So, there are quite a few threats at the tier 5 level for this thing, but the majority of the tanks are gonna have some problems, especially if you're angling at a 45-degree angle. You could see some of that last game. When I was in the confrontation with the Matilda, I was angled at a 45 degrees, so he wasn't going to be able to pen my lower plate as easily as he could have been if I wasn't slanted. Stug versus an ELC. It was interesting. There was like a rapid amount of damage being taken there. The Stug is gonna die either way, even if I don't get him. Now I'm going to bounce on his front, unfortunately. I'm one of the few tanks that will bounce off a Stug. That gun for you, doe. That 98 pen for you, doe. Something got... Churchill 1 got our T-28 there. Which means I'm most likely next. Panzer 30 and a Scout is trolling a KV-1S. Not anymore. Never mind. I was incorrect there. See, this thing does move. I'm already hitting pretty much my max speed here. 33 to 34 kilometers an hour. Not bad turning, and my crew's not even 100% yet. And if I do, and when I do, I will be training clutch braking. Because I plan on using this crew for my KV-2 when I get it. So, this thing will be highly maneuverable once the crew is maxed out. So, people who say this thing is a little bit too slow, you want drugs, girl. Their M3 Lee is back there. Do I have a shot? I'm being ballsy here, but I'm trying to really demonstrate the power of this armor at this tier. Because the VK 361H, I cannot pen him. No matter where I hit him. See, you're going to bounce right off his gun mantlet. He only has 132 pen, bear in mind. That's still enough to go through my armor, but it is pretty sloped. So let's see if we can't just push on right through. That's what I'm going to be going for here. Looks like our KV-1S is pushing up as well. There's the Churchill 1. Churchill 1 I should be able to make easy work of, but he also can make easy work of me. He's got 120 some odd pen on his gun. I remember that much from when I played the Churchill. Actually, Churchill was one of my favorite tanks at tier 5. I loved it. VK is going to hit me, but my tracks are going to take the shot. Right on the side. So normally that would have gone straight through a KV-1. But it just, my tracks ate it right up. For 132 pen and a 200 damage gun. My tracks just nom 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 nom. That's the beauty of that 100 side armor right there. AT-8 and a Churchill 1. It's going to be very interesting to see how it turns out. SU-100Y is going to kill the Churchill 1. I'm basically going for cap at this point. I'm not going to be all too effective against the remaining tanks. I don't even think I can pen the cupola of the AT-8, to be honest. He does have the max gun, as it would look. I don't think I can pen the cupola of him. No, wait. Switching to premium. Let's see if we can't get him with premium rounds in the cupola. Even with premium rounds. Oh, there we go. Right into the view hatch, or the viewport. I'm still, even with premium, I'm really struggling on this guy. There we go, there's one into him. As he runs away like a little chicken. Come back here, you little jerk. Panzer 3-4. Let's switch back to regular rounds. Of course, as the AT-8 backs up into me. We're gonna track him. Can we grab one more shot right there? No? He's gonna keep running. Panzer 3-4 is having a... Oh, no, there's one pen shot on me. The Panzer 3-4. Gonna keep working on him with my little bit better rate of fire here. There's another pen shot on me. Took out my gunner. Up, bounced on the back of the turret of the M6. Not gonna bother healing my gunner right now, as it looks like Artie put a shot in me there. AT-8 flanked around me, but the R-AT-8 is going to save my pants. Oh, I should probably use my repair kit about now. Nope, not quite. Don't need to. I think that M41 is looking at me, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to keep moving up. So I can take quite the punishment, but as you can see, my turret is definitely the weakest part. No doubt about it. Actually, that M41 fired at me just before he died. But see, anything that went for my hull bounced, anything that went for my turret pretty much got through. So even having a beefy gun mantlet, majority of things are going to go for your turret, and the majority of things are going to pen. So that is the downside. If you could put the KV-1 top turret on the KV-220, you would have an unstoppable tier 5 tank. It would just be a complete beast. As they only have an SU-100Y left, and their SU-100Y dies, that's going to be the GG. As actually the M4 and the SU-100Y trade there. So that was the other spectrum of matchmaking. Still doing 500 damage, using a little bit of premium there on the AT-8, but managing to pen a little bit. See, my ammunition expense was a little bit beefy there, because I had to switch to premium, but that's not too big of a deal. Still making some positive money. So I think that's pretty much going to be it for my look at the KV-220 Tier 5 Premium Tank. If you didn't get this tank, I have no idea when it will be back available. It was only available yesterday in the Cyber Monday bundles on the World of Tanks Premium Shop. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this look at a very special tank, and I'll most definitely see you guys on the next one.